I'm here with an expert on Navy aircraft maintenance and also software development related to that. I've got Mr. Jeff Devine, Sr. here with me. And Mr. Devine, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. I recently retired from the federal government where I was involved with a fairly large computer system called it was for naval aviation maintenance. We did maintenance data systems tracking. It's called UMA, Organizational Maintenance Management System. And I worked for an organization called SPAWAR. And I was there at SPAWAR for 23 years. When I retired, I was a department head responsible for the development of this project, which had been in development many years, redevelopment and redoing. And prior to that, I was actually active duty Navy, and I was a user of these systems as a mechanic, airplane mechanic, and a data analyst.
And when you were using that, or when your staff was using that, what were some of the benefits, and what was the rationale for why you guys were using the enterprise architecture?
Well, I'll be honest with you. The rationale is we were forced into using it.
Right.
As we grew from the old style of doing business where everything was flat files, and we used to have to collect punch cards and put them in a box and mail them up to Texas over Maryland, which is where all our master databases were kept. And so as we evolved out of that and got to the online upline reporting systems, we still had several different competing systems. If you were not really competing, but they were all trying to do some of the same things. And but eventually the management got smart enough to start forcing an enterprise concept of collecting data and reporting data and actually using the data. So I don't know if I answered your question or not, but
No, you did. And more specifically, did you do any modeling as part of your enterprise architectures, or did you see and use any modeling?
actually, yes, we did do modeling. I don't remember the specific modeling tools per se that was used, but I know we had a number of different modeling techniques that was used, and we had the architects that used those and did the modeling. And I sat in on a lot of the planning meetings, to come up with the final design, and I was reviewing the output of these modeling tools. So.
Now, was there any relation to enterprise architecture and CMMI, which I know you've got a strong background in? Was there any relation or any kind of correlation between those two at all?
Well, yeah, actually there was. The CMII initiative, of course, was process improvement, and so this enterprise architecture was absolutely sort of directing you to go into that process improvement direction rather than reinventing everything over and over again in different ways. So,
Excellent. As with any type of big effort, I would expect there may have been some hurdles or bumps as you were going along and trying to implement enterprise architecture. Yeah, any background or information on that?
oh yeah. There was a few bumps. Well, first of all, it was a pretty hard sell. I remember getting called out to Single Atlantic Fleet at the time. That's what the organization was called. We're the four-star admiral. The architects out there called us in and said, "Look, guys, the DODAF is the model, and we're going to be using this." And we kind of like scratched our head. Well, what is this thing? That didn't make a lot of sense the first time we encountered it. But as we started actually using it and being forced to use it, so to speak, it started taking on more meaning, and I immediately saw the benefits of using this because I had dealt with the old style of business where we didn't have that sort of discipline in our methodologies of collecting and reporting data upline. And I had been in many painful scenarios of trying to reconcile data across agencies, and to get this view that the architecture provides, from the different views, that was a real plus. That was a big advantage.
Oh, excellent. So related to the DODAF is an architecture called Zachman's architecture framework. What have you heard about Zachman, if anything?
Well, I know that Zachman is supposedly what DODAF is modeled after, and it's a matrix 36, 6 by 6. Is that right? 6 by 6, 36 cells there. And so don't know a lot about it, but I have heard about it.
And something as big as the Navy aircraft maintenance system, and you were making the decisions on whether enterprise architecture framework should be used. Is there a methodology you would use to pick a particular framework? What would you use to try to determine that?
Well, course, cost is always the driving factor as much as anything else, but that's the way we would do it. Is we would have to look closely at the different options and consider the cost and what does it really do for us? Does it serve our needs or not?
Mm-hmm. Are there any specific examples of processes that you saw improved as a result of mapping out those and documenting the architectures within the aircraft systems, aircraft maintenance systems?
Yeah. We were able to improve the lot of the data redundancy that was going, especially between supply and maintenance. There was supply guys was collecting a lot of the same data that the maintenance people were collecting and reporting up line, and of course the data didn't always match and didn't always agree. So when we got these architectures put together and started looking at the different systems and how they interacted, it gave us a lot of room for improvement. Is what it did.
All right. Well, Mr. Devine, I'd like to thank you very much for taking a few moments to talk about enterprise architectures.
Enjoyed it very much.